Okay, so today we're talking about core control with overhead movements, with the key word being rib flare. Yes, okay,
Two
rib
words.
flare. Two words, rib flare. And so this is something that we work with a lot of our patients on is when you're going overhead, what should be going on around here? And so that's really important. And this is almost like a secondary way of controlling or of getting a little bit of a core workout and stabilizing your core when doing overhead movements. So rib flare, Nadine will demonstrate a little bit best she can of what that means. So if she goes and presses overhead, right? And then what she does will arch her back and then she lets her abdominals go, and it's basically like her ribs poke out here. And that shows that she's not really engaged here in the core, okay? What we want to see is that she can engage the core a little bit. We often call this closing the bowls, which means like here's your pelvis, here's your rib cage, the upper bowl's the diaphragm. This is opened and now it's closed and she's tightening up here. And that creates a more solid base. Secondary way of just working your core, but also ensuring that your back is safe when doing overhead stuff. And this happens with other things too, with like farmer's carries and stuff like that. But really with overhead, this is something that we cue a lot. So if this is something where you feel like you are doing something overhead and you feel like you're just arching your back and you're pinching in your back and letting this rib flare happen, we want to show you two exercises to help you gain some core control with your overhead movement. So the first one I'll have Nadine do is go ahead and kneel down here on one knee. Okay, there we go. And then weights in this hand. This is sort of an easier way to break it down, just doing it on one side. And it's harder than it looks just because the pad makes it a little bit wobbly. Bring your foot a little more in line. Okay, so right there creates a little bit of instability in just your base of support. And then she's gonna actively kind of contract here just a little bit and then hold that while she goes overhead. And so this is a pretty easy way, without falling over, this is a pretty easy way to be able to feel like that arm going overhead is going to want to pull this apart, that you give just a little bit of control there to keep the core solid while you push overhead. All right, then here's another one.
So Joel is going to demo this one. So this one you're going to lay on your back and you're going to have a resistance band with a good amount of resistance on it. So you really want to have to kind of pull, and you're going to do that same kind of crunching everything together. So bringing the bottom of your ribs closer down to your pelvis. So that's step one. So he's going to pull that band so everything kind of contracts in his abdominals, and then we're going to bring the knees up to that 90-90 position. You can either hold here. This is a good isometric hold. Or you can do a little bit of a dead bug. So you're just gonna tap the heel and then tap the other heel. So what you wanna see is that he's keeping his low back really flat down onto the mat and not letting everything kind of come apart in a big arch in the low back. So this is a little bit more difficult. If you wanna make this a little easier, you can bring both feet down to the mat. And then same thing, you're still holding that band, contracting everything, but now you're just gonna do a march. So you'll bring the right knee up and then bring the left knee up. Bring the right knee up, left knee up. Perfect. All right, so that is another way that you can really work on that core control, especially when you're doing stuff with overhead motion.
Yeah, so if you do overhead stuff, be conscious of this, right? Be conscious of what your back and your core are doing. Just don't go overhead and arch the crap out of it. And if you are getting some back pain, let us know, reach out, and hopefully we can help you out with some stuff. But thanks for watching, and we'll keep on shooting some more videos to help you guys out.